We know the motion today is this house, this allow the practice of instantaneously naturalizing foreign athlete to serve on national sport team. So here we have a two keyword, which is the first is instantaneously naturalizing and the second is this national sport team. So the first keyword is instantaneously naturalizing. What is it? It means the process of changing the status of a citizenship by the someone who stay in other country but have a potential. And the national sport team, it's a sport team that created by country and filled in by the athletes from that country. So if we combine this keyword, we have a result that instantaneously naturalizing for a national sport team is a player that coming from other country and stay in one country, and then they serve on the national in the national sport team in that country. So we have a background that Olympic 2020 will be held in the near future. So many teams on some country that full of the naturalizing player. Example German, France, and Netherlands. But we can see the result. We can see German won a World Cup 2014, and then France won a World Cup in 2018. So we can see the naturalism player give very much so much impact to the team of some country. So naturalism player is give really give very big impact to the sport team or to the World Cup because of because of the we can see the German full of naturalizing not full but majority have a naturalizing player, and then they have a good performance. Of course, this is really show us that naturalizing player is give impact to improve the team on some countries. So we stand here as a government. So I would like to tell you that I'm here as a Prime Minister. I will action as a committee of the World Cup tournament, and then I would like to give a fair and give a sense of teaching the fair and give a sense of the sport team of the sport in the next World Cup tournament. So why I stand like that? Because we believe that the sport tournament and World Cup tournament must be a real World Cup tournament, and we mean that the player that playing on the team on some country team or sport nation must be the real athletes or original athlete that grow up and be a good player on that country for during his lifetime. So why we tell you like that? Because we have, so why I'm here stand as the Prime Minister. We are really believe that the sport must be fair and the sport must make a sense. And then this is why we are really proud, and we are proud to disallow the practice of instantaneously naturalizing foreign athlete to serve on the national sport team. And then here I stand as a Prime Minister. I would like to tell you that I have a 2 point of argument, which is the first is the fair for a team and the second is the fair for a player. What I mean about the fair for a team, I would like to continue in my first argument, fair for a team. What I mean, fair for a team is the fair for a team. What I mean is the sport must be teaching us about the fair. Because what I mean for fair for a team, because for example, if one country have a full of naturalizing player, but in the other country, or I would like to tell A country and B country, if a country full of naturalizing player, of course they have a good performance, right? Because we can see the result from the World Cup 2014 and 2018. And then if the country don't have a naturalizing player and just use their local player, they have a bad performance, not really good performance. So this is we mean about the equality of the team in World Cup tournament. Because if we allow this practice, of course the team that full of the naturalizing player of course will be a stronger team, and the national team that just use their local player will be weak. So this is show us about the so much equality for if we apply this practice, if we allow this practice. So we want to ban this practice, we want to disallow this practice, so the team of some country full of the original player from that country, and full of original player and local player on that country, so it will make a sense that the World Cup is really World Cup, because the player is compete with other player, with the player from some country compete with the other foreign player, so it will give more sense of the World Cup tournament, because we have a important word is word is earth. So the second point is about the fair for a player. What I mean about the fair for a player, we must to give attention to the player or local player too, because there is so many player or original player want to join in the national team but can't. Why? Because of the naturalizing player, of course, because naturalizing player that chosen by the country more better than a local player. Why? Because they are grow up in the country before that have a good program training for the kids. So it will take the change of the local player to improve their career because of the naturalizing player that stay in the country. Example, I will tell you example. In Indonesia, of course, we know that Indonesia have so much naturalizing player too. There is, for example, is in Irfan Bahdim. Irfan Bahdim is grow up in other country, and they Irfan Bahdim learn football in other country that have a more good program training. But if we see the Irfan Bahdim turned to Indonesia. Irfan Bahdim moved to Indonesia. Of course, Indonesia will choose Irfan Bahdim, but we don't see the local player in the back. The local player, so many local players want to join the national team too, but they can't. But we can see the local player have good potential too. Like example, Evan Dimas. Evan Dimas have a good potential. And like and in example is like other player in the local club have a good potential, but they can't to fill the national team because of the naturalizing player. So it show us that our country don't give a chance to the local player, to the real player from the country. So it means we take a chance from that player to improve their career. So this is really bad. So this is really bad, and then it will give us a reason why we want to disallow the practice of the naturalizing player. So that's why we are really proud to propose and disallow the practice, because we want to give a fair and justice to the player.